Hi, do you have a wedding in your future? Do you know how much you're going to spend on it? Because it could become a large amount. And if you don't have a target amount to save, how much do you know how to save for? Hi, I'm a financial advisor. I've been doing this business for 20 years. So let's discuss how I can help you plan for this budgeting event, this big wedding in the future. Before we do that, here's a little bit of history about weddings. From a historical perspective, the bride's father pays, the groom is excited, and the dad is nervous. And all of those are for good reasons. Up until relatively recently, it was an upper class aristocratic process to have lavish weddings, grand receptions, sometimes even including dowries. Let's talk about the modern wedding process. Now, today, things have changed quite a lot. It's more mass-produced, and by that I don't mean not lavish and elegant and nice, but these things are done on scale in large venues, and sometimes these venues can have multiple weddings per day and multiple weddings per weekend per month. So it's just a year-round process. So it's a manufacturing high-volume process, but the costs are still high. So it's mass-produced, still high costs, and it's widely available, where in the olden days, the aristocratic days, it was reserved for more of the upper class. So now it's been democratized across society. Okay, let's proceed into wedding budgeting. And I understand this is a very subjective decision versus objective. We have very little known facts, so a lot of variables. The question is what are the big considerations for saving up for a wedding like this? Say it's your daughter. You got say 20 years to save. What should you do? How should you go about it? Number one, start today. Make a plan, make an assumption, and start, because then you get the compounding of interest over time. Number two, well, how do you invest this? Maybe you put it in a checking account. You get no interest, right? Maybe you put it in an online money market. Maybe you get 3 or 4%. Maybe that's a good answer, but you're keeping up with inflation. Maybe you invest it in the market. Maybe, but then you're taking market risk. So maybe it's dependent upon the time. If it's 20 years, maybe put it in the market. And maybe as it gets closer to time, move more of a component out into online money market. So you're still receiving interest, but you're reducing the market volatility for this cost. Because in general, if it's within 5 years, the rule of thumb is to have it in a liquid, safe environment. So first 15 years, I probably put it in the market. And the first 10, I put my, very aggressive, and then I get a little bit more conservative. And then the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, I move it to a money market. So that's get started and investing, key things. If you start saving late, you have to save more faster. It's frankly as simple as that. Or make an assumption that you're only going to pay for a fixed amount. And that is one option I've seen multiple times. Another option is we pay none. So maybe families don't pay for the wedding. I'm sorry, we just can't afford it for all of you, so we're going to do none. Another option is we're paying for everything. Oh my God, you're my daughters, and then you end up with these big weddings. So, that's a family dynamic. That's when you get into the subjective stuff. Come talk to me when you want to talk about the objective stuff, and I'll help you. The closer you are to the goal in terms of timeline, I think I would take some risk off the table, maybe move it out of equities, move it more into a stable value dollar fund, which you can still have it at a brokerage account. But I would convert it from pure equities. I would have a declining balance. Early in the phase, I'd start very aggressive. And then as you get closer to the wedding, within 5 years, I'd start moving it back into an online money market. There's some modifiers to this. So when we attempt to come up with a budget, we understand the subjective stuff. Let's take some facts that we can and work with that. So here's some of the specific cost modifiers for a wedding. One is the location, and then if it's a destination wedding, so it could be various parts of the U.S. or maybe outside of the U.S. Size, style, date. How far in the future is it? Is it next year, or you got 15 years, 20 years? All that matters in terms of your budgeting for this wedding. Now we're going to talk about some proactive tips that you can do for helping plan that wedding in the future. What can we do now, objectively, to help plan for a wedding budget for in the future? Well, Number one, let's start early. You just got to start. Make a decision and start. Two, let's assume some basic guesses. Basic. They're not facts. They're assumptions. So the average age of a female to get married today is 28. The average cost for a wedding is $34,000 today. That's average. Some are $1 million, some are almost zero, right? So it's a huge range. Depends, but we need to have a baseline of what to start with. And then average inflation for a wedding. CPI is down, consumer price index around 3%, 4%, varying up and down a little bit, but on average it's about in that range. Weddings are more or less double that. They're 7% wedding inflation, so we can expect a higher rate of inflation. So we've made some assumptions. How far in the future, how much is it going to cost in today's dollars, and then what is the inflation rate. So once you get this, you can come up with a estimated cost in today's dollars, and then we can inflate that to future dollars. So that is some tips about how to begin the budgeting process for a wedding with very subjective features way off in the future. Thanks for listening. Reach out anytime. Call me directly or leave a message in the comments. I'll get back with you. Thanks for your time.